Hey guys, so anybody that's been following my channel in some detail knows that I run Afghan Peaks, which has a ski race in Afghanistan. And my fundraiser this year is the book, My Daddy is Climbing Denali. So looking for support from you guys for that. I thought I'd tell you a little bit of the story about how that whole thing worked, what are some of the parts of the process. So the first thing was I had a bunch of notes kind of thinking about what am I going to write. And I did a draft. And then I kind of chatted with people about, how to fix it, got notes, got input. And then here's my initial list. These were a bunch of artists who I was going to contact. Finally, I went with Forrest Miller. And then with Forrest, I did my interview with him, looked at his work. And then, he did the paintings based on what I'd written. And then I had to look at his artwork. And we ended up kind of shifting some of the storyboard around. I got some of his paintings, started printing them out, started thinking through the details, did an initial mock-up. So these were kind of his first drawings to plan. And then, we started to have a good book. And I started using this to share and talk with people about it, to get input. He kept on doing the work. And then I got this storyboard ready. So you're starting to have kind of the complete work. All right, so we got closer and closer to things. And then we finally got to more of the finished work, right? I kept on doing some rewrites. So I was getting input from people again. And just thinking about what adjustments to make. And in parallel with that, I had agreed a payment to Forrest for the work, but I didn't think it was enough because my nonprofit can only do so much. So then Forrest and I collaborated on a Kickstarter campaign. So this is the list of supporters, some of whom bought an early book by giving a nice donation, some of whom bought paintings, which was a really big support. So with that support, I used half of it to pay for some of the publishing, and then I used half of it to increase Forrest's pay, so it was kind of a more reasonable payout for him. I also needed to publish, so I worked with BookBaby. BookBaby's owned by a friend of mine, and so they gave me a lot of feedback as to what to do, how to do things, and then I got my final book. So there's the final book, and I ordered 250 copies, 125 here, 125 in Alaska that my aunt and uncle are going to try and sell up there. And I'm also trying to sell on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, at my local bookstores. So there's a whole process now of doing the marketing. I got Kirkus to do a review. So today I had a call with Kirkus. They're trying to upsell me to do other stuff. There's a bunch of different people trying to sell me media campaigns. I'm always kind of doing research to say, what works, what doesn't, what can I afford, what can't I afford. Here's my little Venmo. So when I'm selling books, I have to have a poster with Venmo. So we have the book launch coming up on 24th of April. So if you go online to Amazon, do a pre-order, that's great. If you already have the book, go on Goodreads, leave a review, or just read the reviews, click on the reviews you like, anything to give traction. Again, all the proceeds from every book goes to Afghan Peaks. It goes to the ski race. So looking forward to you guys enjoying this book. The book is about my daughter Jasmine, the questions she asked me as I was training for Denali. And some of them were quite profound, really good questions. And really the message of the book is for the parents as much as for the kids, is that safety on the mountain is more important than the focus on the summit. So I hope you enjoy the book.